Hey, welcome back to Be Unexpected. We are here today with Aaron Drury, my good friend who is a special Olympic athlete and coach. Aaron, what is up, man?
Thanks, Wyatt. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, we're really excited to have you on. Jake and I are really excited to get to know your story, and uh, we thought we'd start off by you just telling us a little about where you grew up, where you live now, and where you work right now.
My name is Aaron. As everybody would know, some people don't know about that. I, my story is long, but I'll keep it short. I was originally born in Quito, Ecuador, in 1991 in December. I was weighing a pound and a half at birth, and I was saved by a foster family that runs an organization called For His Children. And since that time, they've been helping disadvantaged children and babies live a fulfilled life and by trying to adopt. So I was adopted in the early 90s and I came to live here live here in Nebraska since the early 90s. And I was welcomed home in August of 93. And I by my big brother and big sister. My sister is the oldest, and my parents. So that's the short version of how I came from Quito, Ecuador, which is in South America, um, to Nebraska.
Aaron, do you have any memories in Ecuador?
Actually, I don't because I was 18 months old, so I
Mm.
really don't. I've been told stories
Mhm.
about what it was like growing up, and it just was that my parents came in down and just filled out all these adoption papers and tried to figure out how the best way that they can get me back, um, adopt me to live with them forever. I just know that I was just graciously saved by a foster family. So
Mhm.
it's just kind of interesting to see. It's just kind of I was able to go back down there in 2011 just to see where I was born.
Mhm.
We
And that's the first time you went there since you were born in 11?
Correct.
Oh.
So
nice.
I was supposed to go down there for my graduation as a part of graduation getaway, but obviously some things didn't work out, so we were able to go the following year in 2011.
Okay, nice. Well, another thing that Aaron, you and I, and Jake, we all share a love of sports. But you and I, we both have cerebral palsy, and if you could share some on what your cerebral palsy, like how it affects you, um, in your everyday life.
I'd be glad to share. I do have cerebral palsy. My left side is affected more than my right side. I had a very bleeding of the brain on my left side, so it basically affected my whole entire left side. But I can still walk using a walker, so I usually do that. That's what people don't see. Is like I use a walker, and I do that for like daily living, daily exercise, just to get out of my chair uh, in the morning.
Sweet, that's cool. Yeah, because um, usually when you come to flag football, you're in the wheelchair, but like so at home you just use like you walk around with your like walker and everything.
That's what I usually do just to get up in the morning, just to stretch my body because my body is. I want to keep it. I want to keep it in good shape, and I see
Right.
people in wheelchairs
Hmm.
uh, overweight, and so that's not me. I always try to keep doing what I can to keep my body strong. So that's one way for me to get out and about, and also I do. That's what allowed me to do participate in Special Olympics track.
Nice.
Aaron, two questions. Are you able to drive? And then what is the hardest part around at home while walking around? Is it getting to bed? Is it in the shower?
I'm not able to drive. Actually, I did try to take a driver's license, driver's permit test, and it didn't work out my favor. But honestly, a day in life with me, I usually spend most of my time in my wheelchair, except in the morning when I usually wake up in the morning and I go head straight to my walker with help from my parents. For mostly that, I guess the hardest part is just going downstairs because we do upstairs. We do have a ramp, but it just like I have to wait for someone to help me go downstairs so I can watch TV or whatever I want to do downstairs. But I like staying just the places I can do, like my room and out in the kitchen area where I spend the most of my time.
Cool. And then do you do you have a job, and how many days a week do you go to work?
I do have a job. I've been working with Walt Branch Library for 7 years now. It feels a lot longer because I started working there when I was a sophomore in high school, and I just volunteered. And so they just kind of, at the end of my junior year, they offered me a position, and that just wanted me to. I they decided you just be able to continue with the process of trying what a normal person would do in order to qualify for that position. So I just qualified for
Oh,
that position. I've been there ever since.
oh, that's cool.
Mm.
Yeah, I would think it's good to get out and have a job where you don't have to work from home, because it's like the social aspect. That's why I like going to my job and working outside the home. And I bet that's really nice for you to get out of your house and go hang out with other people at work.
Actually, I'm just really glad I get to have a job and I have to do social interactions with different groups I'm a part of. So
Yeah. So what besides so you're a track athlete, and then for the UNL, which we'll get into later, the UNL Unified Flag Football, you're a coach. What other activities or groups are you involved in?
So the two groups I'm a part of is UNL Unified, of course, is what you and I are participating. And the other one's called Lincoln Friends Optimists. It's a group in Lincoln that started about 4 or 5 years ago, and our group is designed for people that have aged out of the Lincoln adapted sports teams. Because when I was playing in baseball, when I reached age 18, they said, that's it, you're done. So we wanted to form a group for those that don't do sports and just wanted them to help socialize with them more and try to be in the community a lot more. So that's Thinking Trends, and that's the UNL. And then the other sport that I do is basketball. And I haven't been able to do that for the last 3 years because of COVID. So my team has just kind of been on the struggle bus, but I'm hoping to get a basketball team sometime soon so we can compete again in February.
All right.
Nice. Aaron, how, maybe both you and Wyatt can share this, how your guys' story combined. So Wyatt and Aaron, how did you guys meet each other? Was it years back, or was it recently? Or
Well, for me, it was on Instagram. I was just bored one day and I saw Wyatt's picture across my screen. I go, hey, I'll follow him. He looks like a cool guy. So I just kind of kept in touch with Wyatt through Instagram, and then we eventually met in person last year. So for the first time, we just kind of connected and just kind of shared the passion of sports with each other. So yeah, it's great now if I got to know Wyatt in person.
Yeah. Yeah, Aaron was a big supporter of my YouTube channel, which I really appreciated, because I didn't get many people that liked it right away when I started it. And so we would just kind of hit each other up on Instagram, and he would congratulate me on my YouTube channel. And yeah, and then we had ended up actually being on the same team last year for our flag football league, which we made it to the championship, but we came up short. But that was all right. It was actually one of the most fun games. I don't know about for you, Aaron, but it was one of the most fun games I've been a part of, because it was cold, so it felt like football weather, and we played underneath the lights. So, and the game was just back and forth, and so it was pretty fun. And having it be the championship game obviously made it pretty hyped. But that was pretty fun.
where was that at?
It
So
was at Mabley Field, which is on the campus of UNL.
yeah, it's
Oh,
it's like a soccer field, I think. So.
nice.
But yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't. Aaron was our coach. We were the Packers. I was quarterback, but I couldn't come through for Aaron in the end, and we lost. But one guy on the other team scored like 5 touchdowns on us all by himself. So that was
Was he
pretty
just
fun.
quarterback and then he just run or what?
No, like he was wide receiver and running back, and they just gave him
Oh,
the ball
man.
whenever, and he basically outran our whole team.
Oh.
So he was really good though. But yeah, it was fun being on the team with Aaron. We kind of got to know each other more on the sidelines during the games and before and after, and yeah, we just become really good friends then. And then obviously, like Aaron said, a love for sports. So
Aaron, you grew up in Lincoln, right? And you graduated from where at in Lincoln for high school?
Actually, I grew up in a little town called Hickman,
Okay.
Nebraska, which is like just kind of not too far away from Lincoln.
Okay.
And I went to school at Norris Public Schools, which is, I like to say, in between Beatrice and Lincoln. So the address is Firth, and that's where I currently am right now in Firth, Nebraska. But whenever people say, "Where do you go to Norris? Where do you go to school?" I like to say Norris, and yeah, Norris has become really big and popular since I graduated. And I've seen a lot of changes at Norris, and so it's good to see that Norris is booming as a
Yeah.
whole.
I don't know much about Norris, but I know they have a great baseball program. A lot of the kids have gone to Nebraska and gone to the majors. Is that right?
Yeah, the Norris baseball program has gotten success, and obviously our football program has been up and down as of late. But the latest trend right now is our soccer program. Our girls soccer team has went back to back state finalists, but have come up short in the championship game, almost got. So yeah, our soccer program is on the rise. Our basketball, we've been known for a very long time for basketball. We always won basketball championships during the 90s and early 2000s. And we're trying to get back to that where we used to be dominant. But for now, it's like it just changes because we have different people and different athletes that come in and come out. So
yeah,
because we actually are in between Lincoln and Beatrice, so people have the option to go into Lincoln and play or come out here. But what we mostly see out here is families come in, they go to school for how long, and then they move back to Lincoln or go elsewhere. But it's going to become a tricky challenge now because we have a new school on 68 near the Lincoln area, south of Lincoln, that's being built. And so we might lose a lot of people and community wise to that new school in a couple of years. So we'll see. But yeah, I really love Norris. Growing up with Norris, it was just people. I had a tough time growing up at Norris because there's just a lot of like clips and drops, and I didn't really like that. But for those that don't, that you would be shocked. I was shy, and I was just super shy. I didn't really make a lot of didn't really make friends. I made some friends, but I wasn't really close to anybody. I just kind of I think growing up in high school, I'd like, just get me out here, just get me to 2010. I could get on my own. So, yeah.
Yeah. That was one thing I was going to ask. Were you as sociable as you are now back in high school, or was that a struggle for you to be involved in different groups?
It was a really struggle because of the people that were around it, that I was surrounded by. You got the jocks, you got the stoners, you got all these different types of people that were there. But it was just hard because I wasn't used to like different variety of people, because in Lincoln you got so many different people and background, and I Norris has always been a predominant white school, and not to be offensive to Norris or anything, but I don't. That's what it was. And so when I graduated and went to college, I felt a little bit more easier to be around people with different backgrounds, and I just kind of just accepted it and made lots of friends through college, and so it was fun with that. And also, I couldn't be even more grateful with the help of my family, my friends, and the people that surrounded me during that time.
Nice. What college did you go to?
I went to Southeast Community College, and I started out in computer and information technology program. And I was there for like, maybe I did the program for like a year, and it just wasn't the same. And so I thought about quitting. And actually, I did quit in 2012. And then I took a couple years off, and then I came back to try the computer program again, and it just didn't work out. So then I thought about quitting again for the second time in a row, but it wasn't hope. It was a blessing in disguise. One of my good friends from high school, she came up to me. She called me one day and said, "I heard you're dropping out," and said, "I don't know what to do." And so she talked to me about it, and we met up for lunch, and she said, "Just give college one more try. What do you want to do?" And at that time, I was unsure what to do. So she encouraged me to go back to school, and I found the right program, in the Human Services program at SEC.
Mm,
Nice. Well, that's
dang.
cool. So you're going through college and everything, and then how did you get involved in Special Olympics? When was your first year?
Special Olympics. I didn't start till I was 8 years old.
Okay.
I've been doing it Special Olympics since 2001.
Okay.
Wow.
Nice.
The backstory of that is my siblings did a lot of sports related stuff like basketball and soccer and baseball and softball, but I wanted to compete in something like that. So my mom heard about Special Olympics, and we didn't know about it, that there was a thing. And so we contacted one of the coaches that was there, and coaches, and she goes, "I know a good person that lives in Hickman, the same little town that I grew up, and she wants to start a Norris team for the Norris Special Olympics." So then my mom contacted her, and she goes, "Yeah, we're just starting with just me and my son." And at that time, he was like a sophomore in high school. And so I joined him. And the very first Special Olympics event that I did was swimming. And that was not fun because I can't swim. So I learned that I had to swim competitively on my own without a floating device.
Mhm.
So then after I gave that up, then she goes, "Well, how don't you do track? You can use your walker." And I never stopped doing track after that. I've been pretty successful in doing track.
Yeah, I've seen your posts, and you do the walking. Is it the walking 100 meter? And then what's your field event?
No, I don't do field events. I
Okay.
thought about doing field events, but I do the 100-meter walk
Okay.
and then the 50-meter walk.
Oh, that was
So
yeah.
It's just been a lot of fun just doing that over the years. Over the years, I got more competitive competition. But I mean, it's been fun. I
Nice.
guess I like to show off my skills that people don't know. So it's been fun.
Would you say track is your favorite sport?
Track is pretty much my favorite sport to do because it's just me. It's just the individual, and yeah, you get a race against other people that have your same style of ability. And so I've been doing that, and I started basketball in 2007. So yeah, so track is my successful sport because I won a lot of gold medals. I won a lot of silver medals too, but there was a time from 2014 to 2019, I won 10 straight gold medals in a row, and it stopped because of COVID. So
Yeah.
COVID kind of wrecked that out. But
Darn COVID.
yeah,
And
What
you still have that streak going, which I'm sure you do, but there was probably a pause there, but
yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't mean the streak ends because no one
Yeah.
did it. So technically your streak's still going. So
very true. Very true. Was
Um,
Aaron, so was your main ones that you loved the 50 and the 100 in track? That's where you won all the medals?
yeah.
what event do you like more, the 100 or the 50 meter walk?
Currently right now, I won 7 straight in the 50-meter walk.
Nice.
100 is pretty tough for me because I have to keep going. Once I hit the 50, I like to stop, but I have to remind myself to keep going until I see the finish line.
Mm.
Nice.
So I was really excited. I got to compete in front of family and friends this past summer. And I didn't do it the year before because of COVID, and then like COVID hit in 2020. So basically, my full track season would have been in 2019.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah, because like at that time, I think it was like 2021, you could do track, but they wouldn't do like meets. You just did it at practice. And then
Mhm.
they just like put the times in or whatever. But yeah, like it doesn't matter. Like if it's high school track, special Olympic track, those are always fun to go to because they're huge. Like
Yeah.
everyone goes. So that's pretty cool. I bet to hear like the crowd cheer and everything. So Aaron, like so I know you liked a lot of sports teams. So you're an Avalanche fan, right? For hockey. Then you're
I am. Actually, they're starting their championship run again tonight.
yeah. So there you got your championship team in hockey, and you got and correct me if I'm wrong, you follow the Bucks and the Cavaliers in basketball in NBA?
I do follow the Ohio State basketball team for
Okay.
college, and then I
Mhm.
follow Cleveland Cavaliers. And
Okay.
my brother's currently living in Milwaukee, so I kind of switch off from Milwaukee to Cleveland from time to time. But mostly, I like to stick around with Cleveland.
Hmm. Yeah, man. Cleveland's gonna be good this year. Like they got a stacked roster for basketball. Like they made the playoffs right here, right, guys?
Yeah, didn't I said they got bounced in the first round, but they made the playoffs, right, Aaron?
Yeah,
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
like,
they made
does Taco Fall play on the Cavaliers or does he usually sit the bench?
I think he sat on the bench. I'm not for
Yeah.
sure, but he
Damn.
was pretty good.
Yeah. I just always wondered because he was on the Celtics and then we never played him because he was slow. But it's just cool to have that guy on your team.
Yeah.
And then you gotta tell us about, are you a WWE fan too? We don't know anything about
Yeah,
it.
explain that.
Yeah.
What got you into that?
My cousins.
Okay.
They were big WWE fans, and I grew up in an era of bloody and gore and sexual uh, objectified um, content in that area. Because obviously I was 8, and I knew I shouldn't be watching that, but I mean my cousins introduced me to that, so to be honest, I really do have the old school video games. Now
Oh,
I don't follow WWE anymore
okay.
because I just can't keep track of it. But my favorite wrestlers are Stone Cold Steve Austin, um,
Nice.
The Rock,
Oh yeah.
Jeff Hardy. I also am big I'm a big women's fan too, back in that era, because in that era it was Tori Wilson. And Tori Wilson to me was like the goddess of all the women. And I've had minimal uh, direct messages with her from time to time. It's pretty
Nice.
cool.
Oh, that is
Wow.
But so yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of the old school wrestling, not this generation of wrestling.
okay.
Oh,
And
huh.
then let's go back to hockey real quick. Like Jake and I, I'm trying to get into hockey. I'm a Wild. If I have a team, I like the Wild. But like, who is good on on the Colorado team that Jake and I should like watch? Like, who's the best player on the Avalanche?
I got to go with the captain, Gabriel Landeskog. He's pretty good, and obviously Nathan McKinney. That's pretty good. So it's going to be a different year this year because we lost a bunch of different players due to free agency. But it just that 3 core. I mean, obviously, I keep forgetting. I should mention Kale McCall and the defensive guy for the Colorado Avalanche. So basically, we have our own big 3, McCall, McKinnon, and Landeskog. And that's what one of the things that the organization wanted to keep on these next 8 years. And Gabriel Landeskog signed a 7-year deal. I think it was last year or the year before. And then McKinnon said he signed a 7-year deal too, or 7 or 8 year deal to be on that Colorado Avalanche team. What is impressive is the way that Coach the GM, Joe Sakic, the former player, back in the day when I was growing up, he was a legend. And he just did everything Super Joe could. And now he's a GM for the Colorado Avalanche. And what he's done very quickly and very quietly, build a championship roster.
Nice.
Dang.
Sweet.
Aaron, I don't have a hockey team, and the only people I could have named before this were Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby. So for sure, I'm gonna be an Avalanche fan.
Welcome. We like to say go out, go, and all the small things, which was started by a DJ last year during the playoffs.
Nice.
We like to sing that all the time.
Nice. And then we got to talk some Nebraska football guys because we're all big fans here.
Mm-hmm.
But Aaron, you have season tickets to every year, right? You go to every home game.
I am a season ticket holder for the last 11 years. 11 or 12, I can't remember. It's been a while. And it was something that once I graduated from college, that was the story. So once I graduated from high school, once I graduated from high school, I wasn't ready to go off to college. I had all this money. So with the help of my family, I was able to save it because obviously I wasn't going to buy a car. I wasn't going to buy anything fancy. I don't do a whole lot of shopping for clothes and fancy attire. I'll leave that to the girls for that. But I mean, I just decided to save it. And when my name came up for the waiting list to have season tickets, they go, if you say no, we will automatically drop you from the list and you will have to wait for so many years in order for your name to come up to the top. Rather than waiting, I told my parents, let's do it. And it's been a tradition, family tradition since that time.
Awesome.
So how's the Husker year gonna finish? So we're sitting at 3-3 right now, and we got Purdue on Saturday. How's the year gonna finish, and who's our next coach?
I don't know. It's going to be tough. Purdue's really tough. I mean, obviously they bounce back with different tough. A rocky start, but I mean they've been picking it up, and it's kind of shaky against Maryland. But I don't know. Just looking at the next, Purdue, Illinois, Michigan, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, and Iowa. And those are tough tasks, but I really think at the end, I just have to give Mickey a shot. They play. You can just sense it. They are playing hard. They're playing faster. They're playing loose. Something that you didn't see from the previous coaching staff. They're playing loose with power and enthusiasm.
Yeah, definitely. Like, what was it, the Indiana game? We were playing like the best defense we had in like years. Like we were playing really physical, and and then we won a close game, guys. We won
Finally. For the last 5 years, every time that way it just goes the complete opposite way we want. It's incredible. And something about Mickey, the way he carries himself. So I agree. I think Wyatt's the same. I'm pulling for Mickey.
Yeah, me too. I mean, even if we would we win 6 games, make a bowl. Yeah. And then, I mean, obviously if we would win on our side and then go to the championship game, which everyone's like 2-1. So you never know. Anyone can win our side. But definitely keep them. But I mean, do you guys think we'd keep them even if we go like 5-7 or something like that?
That's a tough spot. I don't know what they do if, let's say, they go 5-7 or barely get to bowl game 6-6. I don't know. It depends how they look. What do you think, Aaron?
I think you got to defeat Michigan, or you got to defeat the teams that you didn't get to defeat over the years. I mean, just think it. I mean, Iowa. I mean, that's kind of our biggest setback. They always ruin it at the end of the year. And Iowa hasn't really been looked great. I mean, they looked okay, but they just really haven't been. And Wisconsin, they just I think they got the two. It, in my opinion, you got to beat Illinois, you got to beat Wisconsin, and you got to beat Iowa. Well, maybe I could throw in Minnesota too. But the trophy games are the ones that are kind of cool and important. Iowa, we have the Heroes Trophy. Wisconsin, we have the Memorial Trophy. And I don't know if there is a trophy for Minnesota. I could be wrong, but I mean that broken bits chair trophy.
Oh yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
made fun of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I think you're right. Like we
Is
gotta
there a
win those
trophy for
games.
Nebraska, Minnesota?
I know there's one
Does it-
Minnesota, Wisconsin.
And Minnesota, Iowa, isn't there? Is there some pig or something? Or is that
Yeah.
Wisconsin?
that's Iowa and Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. We should win.
Yeah, we
So,
gotta
but-
beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Aaron, you're right. Like Iowa, we could beat. Like their offense is pretty terrible, and
Oh.
then Wisconsin, they're actually like the same as us. They fired their coach. I mean, they're winning games but losing games too, so that could be a toss up.
Mhm.
And then Minnesota, I think that would be the hardest one. They're actually pretty good. So,
Mhm.
but we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on the show, Aaron. Really appreciate you sharing your story, and we'll get and just letting us know about your gold medal streak and from your season tickets. You know, it's been great having you on. Anything to add, Jake?
No, yeah, Aaron, I just appreciate your honesty and vulnerability about anywhere you're from your story growing up to when you're born and to leading you here in the area. And yeah, I'm just thankful for getting to know you, met you back in July and in your and Wyatt's friendship.
Thank you for having me, and looking forward to future shows with different people that you invite.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for being a fan of the show. We really need some
Yeah,
every fan we can get. So, and thanks for always like supporting the show. I see you always posting stuff about our show on your Instagram pages and stuff, and we really appreciate that. So
Yeah, you can always give me I mean, the fans give you a follow on Instagram. I'm always on Instagram and Aaron EA Drew. So I'm always there. I'm always on Twitter, kind of on Twitter, but not so much. So, but Instagram is really my strongest
all right,
outreach of social media.
go follow this man on Instagram, people. He's going for his 8th or 9th gold medal in 150 meter. So stay tuned this coming spring. Thanks for watching. Be unexpected. See ya. Man, what a great interview with Aaron. I love his passion for sports, from hockey to basketball and track. You know, just like I think like a lot of people, you know, maybe they don't really know like how knowledgeable a lot of Special Olympic athletes know about just sports in general or just anything. Like Aaron and I, you know, meeting through Special Olympics, like that really shows what Special Olympics can do for you. I didn't know Aaron. I knew him through social media, like you said, but like the UNL unified, like brought us together. We're lucky enough to just be on the same team and get to know each other more. And if it wasn't for that, you know, we probably would have never done this interview. So I'm just really grateful that I got to know him. So
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how you guys just got to know each other from Instagram. Did he just message you first? Did he say?
yeah, like my YouTube channel came out,
Oh, yep.
and then he was just like he was like, oh, go check out, you know, Wyatt's YouTube channel, like Wyatt Spalding. And that really like meant a lot to me because I felt like I was making an impact on somebody's life or helping someone. And then I would just text him through Instagram, and we found out we both love sports. So that's kind of what brought us together. So
Yeah, it was pretty cool when we were talking there at the end about Husker sports and Husker football and basketball and just the little details he was talking about, you know, the trophy games with Minnesota and Iowa and all those little details. You don't really think about it. And then he was just so like passionate about it, you know?
yeah, I mean, like just like all the trophies he knew, like we didn't even know some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like WWE, I really wanted to learn about that because I was like, you watch it or see clips of it, but I've never actually watched it. So I thought it was cool to like shared his experience with that. And
Mhm.
then hockey. Like I'm trying to get into hockey, but
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. So
Yeah.
Aaron's the guy to go to. I asked like, oh, who should I like or what
Mhm.
team is good? So yeah.
Yeah. I said earlier, I don't even know hockey players. I said Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby, but I feel like those guys are getting older. So it was kind of cool to learn a bit about the Avalanche and how cool and his passion for it.
And he's got a streak going.
Yeah.
7 gold medals. The streak hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
Just
It's just put on pause for
yeah,
during COVID.
put on pause.
Yeah.
And he's
He'll
doing
be getting those next spring. He'll be
yeah,
cranking out the 1500.
yeah, definitely. So he's
That's really
got it.
cool. Him going into detail about the 50-meter like walk and the 100-meter.
Yeah, walk and like how he said like he stops and then he goes like once he hits the
Yeah.
50-meter and now it's hard. Like people don't really don't think about that. Like
Yeah.
he's training, man. Like I see him all the
Yeah.
time, like training and he'll like lift, weights to get stronger. I see. And I love his like passion for sports and his work ethic towards his track goals. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and his mindset makes me think of kind of yours. He's not just sitting at home, he could be just sitting, not really doing anything, feeling bad, but he's working, he's cranking out those gold medals in the 1500. He's working to do that. And he tried swimming. Obviously, he said it sucked, but trying different things and working hard and just a bunch of different stuff. He's really turning his story around, which is really
Yeah. It's really cool because like, like without Special Olympics, and I probably said this sometimes, but maybe we wouldn't have those goals of be motivated and he
Mhm,
wants to win the 50-meter and the 100-meter, and that's
mhm.
what makes him get up in the morning and use his walker right away instead of just sitting in the chair. He wants to like loosen up his body, and
Yeah.
I think it's cool to listen because like, yeah, we both have cerebral palsy, but like it affects us differently. People would
Mhm,
always say like, oh, so you have this kind of cerebral palsy. I was like, no, it affects everybody differently. And
mhm.
like we just learn to adapt and we don't let it like stop us. So yeah, that was really
Yeah.
cool. Any other interesting facts you took from the interview?
Two more things about how he said he was 1.5 pounds when he was born in Ecuador. That is just crazy that he survived, as you can relate to some things in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, like he's honestly right now he's the only person that I actually weighed more than. So he was like 1.5. I was like
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is just crazy. Like, and it's like the fight just started there. Like I've
Mhm,
like my parents told me one time, like, you know, you can choose to fight when you're little, like even though you're just a baby, like you choose to fight
mhm.
at a really young
Yeah.
age, whether you go through medical conditions or not. And
Yeah.
you're just a fighter, man. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And then how obviously neither of us knew him in high school, but like we talked about, he kind of talked about how he was not as social, kind of shy in high school, and to see where he is now. I mean, I've met him 3 times, and just to see his, honesty, vulnerability, and it's really cool to just see that the growth that I've seen since last July into now, and how sociable he is. It's really cool to see that.
Yeah. And I mean, like you don't really realize it, like, but I think like high school, like back then, and even like when we were in high school, like there's a lot of people that have disabilities that,
Mhm.
like maybe weren't as social because maybe nobody reached out or like it wasn't, no one hung out with people with disabilities. But now like schools are all about like being included and it doesn't matter if you have a disability or not, but like there are a lot of people out there that are our age or older that, they didn't have that experience of like it's called like unified schools and they're
Yeah.
big on, you know, just doing things with people with disabilities and without disabilities as well. But
Yeah.
like for Aaron
Yeah.
and some others out there, like, they didn't have that experience. So it was
Mhm.
rough, but now like you would never know that about him if he would have
Mhm.
never said anything. Like he's
Yeah.
pretty social now and you know,
Yeah.
but I'm
So
really
cool just talking to him. It was fun.
yeah, but such a great guy and hopefully have him on again, especially like talk some, Nebraska football. It's cool. He's a season ticket holder to
Yeah, that's
all
pretty
the
cool.
games. that's a diehard fan right there, man.
Yeah.
Especially over
passion.
the past 5 years. Just
Yes. Yeah.
going every game, no matter if we're 3-9 or 9-3.
Just
That's
leaving
amazing.
Memorial Stadium just absolutely pissed, and then coming back next weekend, same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, another good episode of Be Unexpected. You can email us at beunexpected100@gmail.com if you'd like to share your story and be on our show. Look out for us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and the YouTube channel Life with Wyatt Spalding. We will also be posting episodes there as well, and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. See you next time on Be Unexpected. See ya.